All right. Welcome to week 2 of our fall prevention class. Um, we'll see if anyone else joins us, Bonnie, but for now, we're going to have a great discussion. So, I wanted to ask if you had any observations over the last week around your balance, any observations around your leg strength when standing up from different level chairs or being, in a different environment besides your own home.
Um, no, I I got up really early this morning and walked over 4,000 steps. So I got 30 minutes and that's my goal is 30 minutes.
Awesome.
And some days I don't. I've got to ask you how the Otega exercises, how
Mhm.
often should we do those?
So, if you want to do it by the book of what Otago recommends, they recommend 3 times a week.
Okay.
And then if you want to stick to your initial goal, like I know you personally said that your goal was to add 2 days a week for 30 minutes of strength training. So if you wanted to start with 2 days a week and see how far that got you before you go, you can always add an extra day down the line if you want to start with two. So it's up to you and your goals, how fast you want to progress, how much you know.
I think I'll start with the 2 days. I I did not I was gonna go online and look at Amazon and, about the ankle weights. You think that helps, right?
Yeah, I do think that will help because yes, I would get the ankle weights that have the little bars that you can take out and put in that range from I think they go up to 10 pounds. So I would get like an adjustable 10-pound ankle weight.
Okay.
Okay. They have little pockets that hold the different levels of weights, and they're pretty easy to take the bars out. I think each bar is like a half a pound. Um, and some of them it might be a pound. So that's a really good option. As long as we are talking about Otago, I'm gonna have you and whoever is watching the recording to flip to the back of the book.
Okay.
It's the very last few pages where it's gonna have your exercise tracker, the exercise calendar. You see it?
Yeah.
Okay. So since we're already at the end of September, unless you already filled it out for September, we'll go
No.
ahead. Hey, Carol.
Hey there.
We're just getting started with the very back of the workbook. Did you receive yours?
I did. Thank you.
Yay. And we're gonna fill this out for October. Okay. So it'll be the very last couple pages.
Oh, God. The last couple of pages.
There's quite a few, so we can do one for several months, right?
There should be 6 months worth.
Okay.
Because the idea is, we have 2 months together, and then that you would be able to continue beyond the
So
class.
the goals pages, is that what we're on?
It'll be the very last, yeah, it does have the word goals at the top. Come on, camera. There we go.
So there's, I'm sorry, let's see, let me get you enlarged because my vision,
It's the
please.
very last 6 pages, Carol, in the notebook. It has a calendar on it.
Hold that up again, please, Amber.
If you go to
Goals.
literally the last 5 pages.
Okay, so the first of those
Yeah.
pages. Okay.
And so we'll fill it out for October. So you know, this is your workbook, so you can do how you like, but I like to see the numbers. So starting at tomorrow will be the first. If you want to go ahead and number 1 to 31 through the calendar.
Let me get a different pen. Okay, Katie, get on my way. I just walked in the door. Just walked in the door.
Oh, did you? Okay. Glad you can make it.
Okay, so tomorrow, Tuesday, you said is the 1st,
Yep.
and we wanna
So we just kind of,
mark the days of it's all blurry. Let's see.
just number 1
Okay.
to 31.
Got it. Oh, heart be still, I'm rushing.
What's that?
I said my heart is pounding.
Oh, is it? You must have run here.
Yes, I was rushing to get home.
I know the feeling. And then you can go ahead and write your goal. So, like for Bonnie, let's talk about yours for a second. You're already in a walking habit. You're already in a Tai Chi habit. So, you might not feel the need to track that, you know. There's certain habits that I already drink a ton of water. There's no need for me to have like extra accountability with that. So if you want to just track it just for fun, just to see all of the exercise you're doing, great. But this is in particular can be helpful for new habits that we're trying to implement.
Yeah.
So for your goal, you can decide, do you just want to write,
Come on.
you know, do the Otago program twice a week? Or do you want to, you know, and then Carol, what will your goal for October be?
God. Okay, do the Octogo program twice a week.
Okay. So then the calendar is where you can schedule it in. And if you already have another desk calendar or a planner of some sort that you use, you could also do this there. But like say, are you going to do it Tuesdays and Fridays or whatever? This would be the place to indicate which days of the week you're going to do it, and then you can check that off on the calendar.
Are we doing this on Thursdays with you?
So we're going to do a little bit of different stuff every Thursday. That's a great question. So if you want to do the Otago program as written, I would pick a different day.
Okay. And then mark it on this goal thing.
What's that, Carol?
Mark it on this goal calendar.
Yeah. This is where you can put a big check mark. Yep, I did it.
But write it in there, Otago on Friday or Tuesday or.
It's your goal. It's your goal. It's your calendar to use. This is just to help you remember and stay accountable and keep track of that.
Otago.
Bonnie, did you have a question?
So I'm probably, since I do Tai Chi on Tuesday and Thursday, I'm probably gonna do it like Wednesday and Saturday.
Okay, perfect. Cool.
Well, how about if we don't lock ourselves into a day and just say twice a week?
Different strokes for different folks. This is going to be a little bit fluid and different for everybody. Then you can decide down here. Come on. It's like with the blurred background, sometimes it doesn't want to catch it. So on these bottom
Yeah.
If there are any additional habits that you have that you want to keep track of, like for me, my bedtime got really out of whack over the past 6 weeks. So right now I am trying to dial back in my bedtime that I know serves me best. So that's an example of something more holistic minded, health related, but it's not exercise related, that if you want to track another habit that you know would enhance your experience of the exercise program, or just, help you feel better in general. Um, or Carol, that could be if you had a goal that in addition to the Otago exercises, 2 days a week, you're going to go over to the step with the booster brick and do 20 of those twice a week. Like that could be an option.
Okay, good idea. Booster brick. Thanks for the tip.
Yep. Anything you want to keep it like right in front of your face so that you don't forget. There's so much distraction in the world today that it's so easy to get excited about something one day and then forget the next. So we want to keep these goals very visible. All right. You guys got that filled out?
Yeah.
Cool. Okay. For the rest of the day, we are going to spend a little time going over the book now that you have it in your hands, and then we'll go over some balance tests and then finish up with module 1. And I'm going to get you guys out on time today because I have to leave right at 4:15. So next, I'll have you guys turn to page 8, My Fall Prevention Team. And what you'll do here is just start making a list of your healthcare providers, any of your inner circle that you feel really is part of your health team or part of your fall prevention team. So this would be your primary care doctor. This could be for you, Bonnie. This could be Tai with Tai Chi, since that
And
is
I've got all the ladies on there because they're part of my team, right?
Yeah, the Tai Chi team. So they are part of your fall prevention team, I would say.
Yeah, and then I'm talking about Carol and your Aunt Carolyn.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
Carolyn and Jonelle and Carol.
yeah.
Yep, we are now part of each other's fall prevention team. This could be your pharmacist. This is for sure your pharmacist. Everyone here will hopefully at some point do a medication review as needed. This could be if you have any specialists. Do you have a cardiologist, a neurologist, a podiatrist, any IST? What are your list of ISTs? A
Page
massage.
isn't long enough.
What's that?
Page isn't long enough.
This can be anyone on your holistic team too. So like for me, a massage therapist. It could even be a mental health counselor. This is a fall prevention team, but this could also be synonymous with like your health team. This also could include any decision makers in your family or friends. So if you have a POA or anyone that helps you with making decisions, health related decisions, financial decisions. And then as we go through the course, you'll see we'll kind of brainstorm, oh, do I need to add an eye doctor to my team? So this could be your eye doctor. if you have any GI or urinary issues, this could be a urologist or the GI doc. This could be a handyman that needs to install grab bars for you. Carol, what's your cat's name?
This is a brand new kitty. She joined
Oh,
the family a week ago. Her name is Gracie.
oh,
She is in heat and she's driving me crazy.
Oh,
She was abandoned on a porch
oh,
in the heat, no shade, no water for days.
whoa. Poor thing. Well, welcome, Gracie.
And unfortunately, she's feline leukemia positive.
Oh,
Oh,
I don't
God.
know if you know, that's
I,
a terrible disease.
well, I know in humans it is, so I figured.
And it's highly contagious to other cats.
Oh,
So my kitty and her have to be totally separated for another 3 weeks.
oh, wow.
And it's driving the two of them crazy.
I'm
And
sure.
me.
Yikes. Yeah.
So this
Everybody.
one's locked up in a bedroom. And then my kitty's trying to dig his way into the bedroom.
Oh,
And then when she comes out, I have to cover over my cat's litter box and pick up my cat's water bowl. And then my cat has to go out in the patio. And
it's a
it's
lot to coordinate.
another 3 weeks of this.
You got this.
Well, it's obvious that Gracie loves you. She's right there on your chest. Honey.
Oh,
Yeah,
she's so glad to have been rescued.
I'm sure. Oh, my aunt will like watching the replay. She's a pet person. Okay, let's go to page 9, your SMART goals. This is where we wrote our goal last Thursday. I said, keep that post-it somewhere where you won't lose it. So go ahead and transfer over your goal to your workbook. So this is the one that's very specific about, twice a week, 30 minutes, or we got really objective and specific with this goal.
There it is.
So, by November 21st, I want to be able to XYZ.
On my stair landing.
You can always add to this list.
Now, the Otago program also strengthens the core, right?
Yeah, it's kind of a full body. There's nothing like targeted towards the core. It's mostly targeted towards legs. So it's a little lacking in like a direct core and upper body type exercise, but um it's a decent full body program, and I would start with that and see how far that gets you.
To be able to step on a one step stool. You have it.
Cool. Okay, page 10. This is your why. So balance and fall prevention are so important to me because here you really want to tap into something that kind of is a deeper meaning than just, oh, my doctor said I should, or Amber said I should. We want to tap into a deep meaning. So for personally, I'll give you my example and then you guys can make this your own, but like a good meaning is like, for me, I used to exercise primarily to try to lose weight. And that was a very superficial reason. Okay. And then in my experience working with older adults for a decade, I have seen older adults that had very poor mobility and couldn't take care of themselves at all, and that has had a huge impact on me, and so now the reason that I go diligently do my exercise every day after work, even when I'm tired, is I wanna be able to walk and talk coherently when I'm 100 years old, you know? So that's a much more deep meaning than, "Oh, I just wanna lose weight." So, is it do you wanna be independent so you don't, you know, your kids don't have to take care of you? Do you want to be able to get on and off the floor if you have a fall? Um, do you want to be able to still travel? Do you want to, what is that deep meaning that's gonna get you to do the exercise even when you kinda don't want to? And this one you might have to think about. I had a woman once that she kept wanting to exercise, and I would check in with her every week, and she said, "Oh, I didn't do it this time, Amber. I'm so sorry." And I'm like, "You don't have to apologize to me, that we're just missing there must be a barrier that we're missing." And so her main motivation was, "Well, I know I should. I know I should." So it was a very like pressure type of meaning. And I gave her homework to really think about it, and she was like, "I love being outside and looking at my neighbor's plants." So she wanted to walk around the block so that she could look at the flowers. So her meaning had more to do with, like, what brought her joy and flowers. That had nothing to do with losing weight or what your doctor says you should do, and, because again, some people will be content with a sedentary lifestyle, so that might not be their goal to improve their health in that way, so and they have the right to choose that, so, it's about what's meaningful to you. I had another man who really wanted to be able to walk down and touch the ocean when he went on a family beach trip. So that was super important to him. Being able to play with your grandkids, pick them up, stuff like that is what we're looking for here.
Well, I don't want to topple over and break a bone.
Yeah,
That's one of mine, yeah.
that taps into pretty pulls on your heartstrings pretty good, I would say.
I have done that.
Yeah.
I was going up once a curb, a 3-inch curb with I use a tri walker,
Uh-huh.
and I put the little walker up on the curb. And when I put my feet up on the curb, I fell backward onto my butt.
Oh.
And I was in a driveway going up on a walkway to someone's home, to
Mhm.
the little step thing was like the walkway to their front door. And when I fell, I landed in their driveway, just in this little space with my back up against the car. So I sat upright,
Yikes.
and I didn't think I hurt myself. And I was able to crawl on my knees and crawl over to the post that for the covering over the walkway and grab onto the post and
Good,
pull
good.
myself up
That's good.
and I got in the house and within 5 minutes I just fell over
Hmm.
and landed on a bag of soft trash, for lack of a better word. Again, didn't think I hurt myself. And a few weeks later, I went to get out of bed. And when I put my left leg out of the bed, I was in excruciating pain.
Hmm.
And it ended up, I fractured my left pelvis in 2 places
Wow.
from that fall a few weeks previous.
Wow.
Down the bone in between, I could tell you what it is later on, but the bone in between my legs at the very bottom. And a few inches up from that, 2 places I broke those bones.
That's really painful.
And then a few weeks later, in my kitchen, I was rolling around on a stool because of these fractures. And I went to stand up to while I was sitting, and I went to pull the trash bag out of the trash, and I thought it was heavier than what it was. And when I did, I sort of stood up thinking it was going to be heavy, and it was light. And I went sailing across the floor. Again, landed on my butt on my kitchen floor.
Yikes. This is a bad streak for you, Carol.
Didn't think I hurt myself. And again, 2 weeks later, the same exact thing. Put my leg out of the bed and I broke the same exact 2 bones on the opposite side of my pelvis.
Oh no.
So I had a matching pair. So at one point in time, I had all 4 bones at the base of my pelvis broken at the same time.
Yikes. That's horrible.
It was horrible.
So that one, I mean, this really does speak though to there is an emotional charge behind this goal for you. And so that's what we're looking for is something deeper than, a superficial reason. Okay, we'll go to page 11 and 12. I'll just touch on briefly. These are brainstorming pages as we go through the course. So as you started to see last week, there are dozens and dozens of things that could put you at higher or lower risk of falling. Okay, so throughout the 8 weeks, I don't want you to be overwhelmed and think about tackling every single one. Some classes we're going to come and you say, oh, I should do this, this, and this. And then some classes you're going to come and say, oh, none of this really applies to me. I'm good here. So if anything speaks to you that, oh, maybe I want to look into this further after the 8 weeks, then page 11 and 12 would be where you would write that. Like maybe you're still on the fence about Otago, but maybe you want to look into a Tai Chi class. Maybe you want to look into Planet Fitness class or whatever. What EOS? Someone was going to EOS. Or EO5, something like that. So you get the idea. These are kind of not yet, but they're brainstorming ideas for maybe I want to take action on this. And then page 13 is what we'll fill out the very last week. This is like your top 3 priorities at most. I want everyone to at least write, this is my number 1 top priority, but this is trying to simplify everything and again, keep it not overwhelming. And then page 14 and 15. We're going to save this for the end of class today. We might have time to circle back and start filling this out, but if you've had any bad falls in the past year, or 2 or 5, but especially more recent, then you can go back retroactively and try to get to the root cause of these. So this was what we touched on last week. This is to be used in conjunction with pages 16 and 17, the risk factors. So trying to get to the bottom of why you fell and see a trend there. So we'll, if we have time, we'll circle back and do that, but that's something that you can fill out on your own retroactively or just going forward. Anytime you have a fall, want to report it to your primary care doctor, your physical therapist if you have one, and then you want to keep your own log. Carol, you said that you have a log on your phone, I believe.
Yeah.
So if that method is working for you, then just keep with that method. Okay. Any questions there with anything that we've filled out so far?
Little kitty. I've never had a kitty in heat.
Oh, any questions so far? Okay, then we are gonna go to page 21. So just to review for a fall prevention program, we're gonna start with a screening, move to assessment, and then intervention. So this is where we left off last week. If you turn to page 21, I'm gonna actually have you guys run down that list of yes, no, and just fill it out. So I have fallen in the past year, yes or no. I use or have been advised to use a cane or a walker to get around safely, yes or no. And just go down the line and then count up the total.
Oh,
And just give me a thumbs up when you're done with that questionnaire. You good, Bonnie? Okay. So then with this, if you scored 4 or more, then this would be an indicator that you're at risk of falling. This is a screening form from the CDC. We're gonna do a couple different questionnaires. And so again, most of you are here because you already know that you're at risk of falling. So the screening is kind of like, okay, this is great, but what do we do with that information? So these could indicate anything that you have circled yes to could indicate an area that you want to take action on. So, oh, I steady myself by holding onto furniture when I'm walking at home. You might want to be more intentional about working on your balance with the goal of holding on to furniture and surroundings less, because actually that can be really dangerous. We physical therapists have a name for furniture walkers or furniture surfers or furniture cruisers, people that touch furniture as they walk through the house. And so the reason it's very common, but ideally we either want to be fully independent with our balance and not have to stabilize on furniture, because even if it seems solid, it could slip out from under you, or it's just a reliance on something external. So another option would be like bringing in a cane or a walking stick so that you and your walking stick are a unit, and now you're independent with your walking stick rather than reaching outside of you to variable, environments. So we can go to the next page, page 22. This is a screening based on the CDC's recommendations. So again, we're going to go over every single one of these in this 8 weeks. So if you come to class one day and you have some problem areas that you're like, oh, home safety, yes, I really need to look into this, then you would just check problems found. And this kind of, oh, my vision, yes, and then, oh, hydration, I really need to do that. So you might have 3 main areas out of these that really stand out to you that you already know, oh, this is a problem area for me. And then that can help direct your intervention. Because a lot of this stuff we don't necessarily associate with fall prevention in particular. Like, yeah, we know we need to stay hydrated, but you might not have ever thought to connect that with fall prevention. So this is a really good comprehensive list. And again, we're going to go through all of this in the 8 weeks. So this will be a good place to come back. All right, go ahead and fill out page 23 and then give me a thumbs up when you're done with that page. This one starts getting into more specific activities.
Page 23.
Yep.
Let's check the box we like.
Just check the box that makes most sense to you. So this would be, what level of concern do you have when you're performing these activities? Sorry, I didn't fully explain it very well, did I? So if you're cleaning the house, like sweeping, vacuuming, or dusting, are you concerned at all that you're going to fall? So I would be very concerned that I'm going to fall while cleaning the house, fairly concerned, somewhat concerned, or not concerned at all. If you're getting dressed and undressed, do you have any level of concern that you might fall when doing this task? So if you have found ways to do things, like for example, getting dressed while sitting down, well, I'm content to sit down getting dressed and I'm not concerned about falling sitting down getting dressed, then I would put not concerned at all. But if you really want to get dressed standing up, and the only reason you're getting dressed sitting down is to prevent a fall, then I would put that I'm fairly concerned I'm going to fall, or very concerned, So if you're happy
I'm
with
sorry, would you repeat that? I have cognitive issues and
Yeah, absolutely. So getting dressed or undressed, what is your level of concern falling, doing that activity? So if you've found compensatory strategies to help you feel safe doing things and you're happy with those strategies, then I would say not concerned at all. But if you're wanting to return to the way you used to do things, like, well, I used to get dressed standing up and I still want to get dressed standing up, but I just sit down so that I don't fall, but I really am not content with that and I would like to work back up to be able to get dressed standing up, then I would say that you do have a level of fear around falling because you're compensating the way that you're doing it because of the fear of falling. Does that make more sense?
Yeah.
Yep.
And yeah, don't overthink it. Just think of the way that you would prefer to do these activities and base your answer on that.
So going up or downstairs, I can't do that at all. I have a stair glider,
Yeah.
but I would love to be able to go up and downstairs.
Yeah. So is it currently a goal that you're going to actively work on to be able to walk up a flight of stairs?
Well, right now I'd like to get up one step.
Okay. So just base it on whatever feels most accurate for you. You know, if
So that would be very concerned.
yeah, I mean, in the long term, if you're at peace about taking the stair glider, then what is it? Does it specify a whole flight of stairs?
Just as going up or
Going
downstairs.
up and downstairs. I would follow your heart. If very concerned is what feels right for you, then I would mark very concerned. Because you're going to be the one taking this again later at the end of the 8 weeks. So whatever kind of makes sense in your head.
My concern on the stairs is when I pulled my hip out of joint. And then I was over at my daughter's and I was gonna go upstairs to see my granddaughter's room because she lived upstairs. And my hip hurt so bad I couldn't do it. I didn't do it and I haven't tried it lately. But other than that, I wasn't concerned, you know, and so now I am somewhat concerned. And I told my daughter I was coming over just to try out her stairs.
Good, good. That's awesome.
Okay, this isn't a good time. I'm in a
Okay. Carol, I'm going to go ahead and mute you there. Okay, so let's go on to page, what's that?
Because going to the shop. Does that mean going shopping?
Yeah, yeah, going shopping, going out into the community.
Okay.
Yeah, it could be going to the barber shop, who knows? Like whatever
Yeah,
shop
yeah,
you go
yeah, that's
to.
what I wasn't sure about.
To me, it means the grocery store, so whatever it means to you. Okay. I'm gonna have us pause this and we might add this to our homework is to fill out 23 and 24 so that we can get through everything that I want to get through while we're face to face.
Okay.
So let's go to page 25. And now we're going to go into a quick screening of physical balance. So can you stand up from a 17-inch chair without the use of your hands? So this was what we did the first day last week. So if everyone wants to, you know, if I were testing you, I would pull out my tape measure and measure the height of your chair and find a 17-inch chair. For the purposes of this class, you know, use whatever chair you're sitting in. But so we're gonna try that again. So arms will be either across your chest or they can be out in front of you. And we're gonna try to stand up without using our hands, just one time.
Okay, you did this with me at the house and
I did this with you. Yeah. So I can pull up your answer. Actually, I could pull up your official answer. So,
And
but let's go ahead and do it now.
Okay,
So, and then I'm going to time you for 30 seconds. So Carol, is this an activity that you want to participate in?
yeah.
Okay, cool. So everyone scoot to the front of your chair, find a safe chair to do this, and we're going to do this for 30 seconds. All right.
what I'm sitting in, is, I believe, 18 inches. Isn't that ADA height, 18?
Um, it's either, I'm not sure about for chairs. I thought for toilets it was 19, but I could be wrong on that. A comfort height toilet. Comfort height toilet.
All right. Is it, because I've got, well, I've got my chair has a cushion in it as well. Okay, so what are we doing?
it?
Standing
Okay.
up?
Yes, we're gonna stand up. I was just trying to find the specs, but I'll find that
I
later.
think it's 18 or 19 is ADA height.
Okay, so I'm gonna time you guys for 30 seconds, so keep count of the number of times that you stand up and sit your butt back down. So by the end of the 30 seconds, your butt has to touch the chair again for it to count as an extra repetition, okay? So on your marks, get set, go. Up and down as fast as you can. Good job, good job. Halfway there, keep going. Beautiful, almost there. See if you can do one or two more. Quick, 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 and stop.
Oh, shit, that's a good thing. My
So
legs are burning.
go ahead and write the number on the bottom of page 25. So you'll write September 30th for date, and then you'll write your total number there.
I think it was 10.
Okay. So then, Carol, since you said your number out loud, we'll use you as an example. What is your age?
75.
75. So we would look at the top row where it has the gender norms, and ideally we would want you to be able to do 13. So you can already do 10. You'll be able to do 13 in no time. I would guess that even by 2-3 weeks from now, you could be doing that. It doesn't take a lot, and strength can improve very quickly.
Hmm.
Okay, now for page 26. We're going to do everything very safely. So with this, if you need to stand next to some kind of upper body support, if you need to stand in front of your walker, Carol, please do that. So we'll go ahead. I'm gonna try to get you guys to be able to see my whole body this time. But so we're going to stand with our feet together. And we're just gonna hold each position for 10 seconds. So go ahead and get standing. Please do this safely, however you feel safe. And we'll get so that your feet are touching.
Feet are touching together.
Together. Again, do this safely, so participate at whatever level you feel comfortable. If you need to stand with them a little apart, that's okay, but so we're gonna go for 10 seconds, ready? So without support, feet together for 10 seconds.
Do what?
For 10 seconds, feet together, no upper body support if that's safe for you. Good, okay. Now you're gonna slide 1 foot forward so that your big toe of 1 foot is touching the heel of your other foot. So you're not quite on a tightrope, but you're moving towards that position.
You want one in front of the other?
So look at page 26,
Yeah, the second one there, Bart.
the second one, semi-tandem. So
Okay,
your big toe is gonna be kind of near the arch or your heel.
okay.
And we'll hold that for 10. And ready, set, go. Beautiful, that was 10. So then on here, you'll just mark how either yes or no that you were able to do it, or you might say, oh, I could only hold that one 3 seconds. So just make an indicator of 3 seconds. Next, we'll try tandem standing. So this is that third picture with your heel touching your toe. So this is, we're gonna be on a balance beam. So we're gonna channel Simone Biles here. And try for 10 seconds, standing heel toe. Ready, go. Good. And then lastly, we'll try standing on one leg for 10 seconds. So if you need support for this, even if you're hanging on, this alone might be a strengthening exercise for you. So still go ahead and do it with support. Carol, I am just making this recommendation. If you are using a walker for support, I do recommend putting your phone somewhere where you can, either in your pants, in a pocket, in your bra, something like that, so you can have full support on the walker. Okay, we'll try standing on one leg, supported or unsupported, for 10 seconds here. Ready, go. Good, and relax.
I can't do that without hanging on.
Okay, so then you would indicate, could you do it for 2 seconds?
I think probably that's about it, yeah.
Okay, so then you might write 2 on that box.
Okay,
And then write the date, it's September 30th. So this is a quick screening. So you guys can sit back down. I'm going to share my screen now and go over what the next steps would look like. So share screen. Okay, hopefully y'all are seeing are you seeing what I'm seeing? Are you seeing my workbook?
yes,
Okay, so we'll go to page 27 here. You can follow along either on the screen or in your own workbook, take notes. So, well, this is all great to know, but what do we do with this information? So really, we want to be making sure that we're within our age and gender norms. That's a good thing to do with this data. And so you can track it year after year and make sure that you're just having as slow a decline as possible. You may want to schedule a follow-up with your doctor or therapist or another provider. Another good thing to do with this information is to get to know your body better. So this might highlight your strengths and weaknesses. Oh, I'm really terrible at standing tandem or standing on one leg, so I might want to practice that. What's the most common way that you lose your balance? How is your balance when someone bumps into you at the grocery store or when a dog surprises you and runs under your feet? How is your balance when you're multitasking or talking to a friend? Can you walk and talk at the same time? When you lose your balance, is it usually due to internal, external, or behavioral factors? So these are good things to do with this information. You're all here, you know that you're at risk of falling. So we want to dial in and get much more specific than I'm at low, medium, or high risk of falling. We want to know, when are you at risk of falling and why? Lastly, all that being said, you are allowed to accept risk. So I have people very close to me that are a high fall risk, and they choose to really not address it, and they are allowed to live their lives exactly how they want to live their lives. So you are allowed to know that you're a high fall risk and navigate your life that way. So I'm guessing by you guys being here that you're not in that category and that you do want to do something about it. Okay, now we're going to move into the assessment portion. So we screened, now we're going to assess, and then we're going to intervene as needed. So assessment. I just want to touch on the role of a physical therapist in assessing your balance and fall risk. So if I worked with you individually, then I would do a much more thorough assessment of your physical abilities. So I would be assessing you head to toe. We'd look at your vision, your sensation, your vestibular system, if there was any indication to look at that. I would look at your walking speed. So this is really, really important. Nowadays, they've done a lot of research on walking speed. You might have heard it called gait speed, where there's research calling your gait speed the sixth vital sign. So it's as important as your blood pressure, your heart rate, your blood sugar, your temperature. So walking speed is super, super important, and it's associated with your level of independence in the community, your ability to take care of yourself and perform activities of daily living independently, whether or not you use a walking aid, your fall risk, your risk of hospitalization after an adverse event versus just being able to go right home, and even your risk of Alzheimer's. So walking speed is really important. You don't have to walk fast all the time, but you want to maintain the ability to walk fast if you need to. If I was, again, the physical therapist role here is we want to challenge you in every way possible. So we're going to test you reaching, changing directions quickly, stopping quickly, turning, doing stuff with your eyes closed, walking backwards, walking sideways, stepping over stuff, stairs, going outside. So we're going to challenge your balance in every way, shape, and form that we can, and try to, we'll look at your strength, your sensation, all of these risk factors, and try to create an intervention plan for all of the areas that need it. So why start with PT? If you have pain or mobility restrictions that make movement and exercise less fun, you'll be less likely to find a program that you want to stick with long term. So seeing a PT to reduce pain can be a really good place, or increase your range of motion. It can make exercise and movement more fun or pleasant, so that you actually want to stick to your goals. Starting with PT, you'll get a much more individualized plan. We've already touched on this, but getting supervision allows you to do more challenging balance exercises than you can do alone safely. So you can build confidence and progress faster. Again, the one-on-one education. I think a great option is to use PT as just a bridge to independent exercise. So if you're really just starting from scratch and you aren't doing anywhere near the amount of exercise you want to do, just starting with PT can kind of get you in that routine of once or twice a week doing some movement until you're able to carry out the plan on your own. And then I do recommend an annual checkup, head to toe evaluation of your strength and balance, just to make sure that you are where you want to be, and then doing balance tune-ups as needed, just like you would take your car in for an oil change. So that would be the assessment. And then the intervention would be whatever areas need intervention is we would have to talk about each of those in particular. I'm a physical therapist, so most of my intervention comes in the form of exercise, but since getting involved in fall prevention now, it's a lot broader. I think I mentioned this last week, but almost all fall prevention plans nationally and internationally start with exercise, home safety, vision, and medications. So this is where I want all of you guys to investigate and see if there's anything in these 4 buckets in particular that jump out. And as we go through the 8 weeks, we're going to touch on each of these one by one. But if you already know that one of these is an issue, then you could turn to page 22 or page 11, and you could just jot down what you already know to be a problem area that you might want to investigate, further. But we want to start small. So to address the exercise, you could start with a physical therapist, or you could start with a personal trainer. For home safety, you could start with an occupational therapist doing a home assessment. With vision, make sure you're going to your eye doctor once a year or more if that's recommended for your eyes. And then with medications, we will learn more in detail of what a medication review is and how to get one done by your pharmacist and your doctor. So definitely talk to your doctor before starting an exercise program if you know that you have any heart conditions or any chronic conditions that you might have some restrictions. If you have a pacemaker or something like that. Starting with PT, and then another good way to start with exercise, there's a difference between physical activity and exercise. So when I think of physical activity, I think of, doing stuff around the house, going shopping, you're physically moving, that all counts. So, but that's not really focused exercise. So one way to increase your movement without doing like an exercise plan is just to increase your physical activity around the house. Park a little farther away when you're going to the pharmacy or the grocery store. Just increase your movement, and that will benefit you more than you'd realize. And then find an exercise program that you will stick with long-term, very individual preference there, and then take fall prevention classes. So next, I want to talk about balance. So this is going to be all of the parts of our bodies that make up our balance. Like, what even is our balance? So it's defined as an even distribution of weight, enabling someone or something to remain steady or upright. Stability produced by even distribution of weight on each side of the vertical axis. The verb would be to keep or put something in a steady position so that it does not fall. And then synonyms could be stability, equilibrium, steadiness, footing, and control. So with our balance, we're going to talk about this repeatedly throughout the course, but this is the simplest way to think about it. Our inner ear, our vision, our feet, and our strength are the big things that help our balance. So with our inner ear, if you look, so we'll be on 30 and 31. This will probably be easier for you guys to look at in your workbook, but excuse me. So we're gonna start with strength. So I'm on page 31. We'll look at muscles and joints. So with muscles, there's strength. So that would be like, say that I take this candle and it weighs a pound. Do I have the strength to lift this overhead one time? Yes, I do. Now, endurance would be the ability to stay there. So how long can I stay here? Well, if I'm holding 1 pound, I could probably stay here for a few minutes. But if I'm holding 5 pounds, it might not be so long. If I'm holding 10 pounds, it might not be that long. So endurance is your ability to stay there for a prolonged period of time. Power is how quickly can you move? So that would be like, how can I thrust it up there really fast? Again, with 1 pound, easy. With 10 pounds, it gets harder. You know, with 50 pounds, I don't know if I could do that. So now another thing related to strength and joints is your mobility. So what are your movement options? So with our shoulders, they move in a lot of directions, hopefully. So this is now talking about flexibility and mobility. Can you reach behind your head all the way to scratch your back? Can you reach behind your low back? Can you know, our shoulders go a lot of different directions. So can you bring it all the way back? Can you bring it all the way across? So that, if we take all of those concepts, strength, endurance, power, and mobility, and apply them to every single joint in your body, that's going to be, you know, having a good impact on your balance, especially in your spine and your legs. With your vision, acuity would be like the accuracy of your vision, and like, is it blurry or not? Is it clear or blurry? Your field of vision, as we age, we can start to lose our peripheral vision very slowly, or certain type of neurological conditions can have what's called a field cut, where you lose your left vision, your left field of vision. Tracking would be your ability to keep your eyes on something. So this would be like when you're in the grocery store, how is your scanning ability? And how do your eyes move? Is it fluid or is it jumpy? And then another example, sorry, this is blinking and driving me crazy. There we go. Okay. Another example would be, can you watch cars driving in the parking lot? Can you keep your eyes on the cars as they go by? Or is there something, are your eye movements jumpy? So that will impact your balance. And then, do you need corrective lenses or contacts to help with any of that? So the quickest way to see if you rely on your vision for your balance is to try everything that we did before with your eyes closed. So most people, when they close their eyes, are gonna wobble quite a bit more, and it just indicates a heavier reliance on our vision to help us balance. This is really good if you're hiking in the woods, for example, and you need to be looking down at tree roots and rocks and making sure that your footing is good. So when you're out in an unfamiliar environment, you're definitely going to rely more on your vision to keep your balance. Now, if you're walking around your house that you've lived in for 30 years and you know every step, you're probably going to be able to look up a lot more and not be so dependent on your vision for that. Just a couple more here. Proprioception, that has to do with our sensation and where our body is in space. So if I were to close your eyes and position your arm out to your side, would you be able to tell me, oh, my arm is out to my side? It has to do with our body talking to our brain and knowing where it is in space. This also plays a big role, the sensation on your feet and your ankle, the proprioception in your ankles, knowing where they are in space and if they're able to stabilize. So your sensation of your feet really plays a huge role in your balance. That's why people with neuropathy or any type of numbness in their feet can really, really struggle with balance. And then lastly, your vestibular system, that is located, you have one on each ear. You'll colloquially hear this called like your inner ear. This has to do with head turns and your vestibular system, this little inner ear organ in your left and right ear talks with your brain and says, now I'm looking left. Now I'm looking up at the sky. Now I'm looking down. Now I'm laying down. So anytime you change positions, your body is talking to your brain to tell it where it is now. So if your vestibular system is wonky, that is going to really majorly affect your balance. This is where if you've heard anyone talk about the crystals in their ears or vertigo, oftentimes they'll have an issue going on with their vestibular system. So this tells us the direction we're looking and also speed. So acceleration, deceleration. If you're on the highway and you go from, 20 miles an hour to 70 really quick, this is going to be giving your brain that feedback. If you're in an elevator going up and down and you feel that like initial, ooh, I'm going up now, that was your proprioception and vestibular system telling your brain, oh, now I'm going up. And this works in conjunction with your eyes as well. So this is why this is the explanation for motion sickness. So if you're in an airplane and you're looking at the seat in front of you or you're reading a book and your eyes are telling your brain that you're basically staying still because in the airplane, nothing is changing really in relation to each other. But then the second that the plane itself turns and you get that ooh feeling in your stomach, and you might start to feel kind of dizzy, it's because your input that you're getting into your eyes and the input that you're getting into your vestibular system they're not gelling together. They're telling your brain two different things. So your eyes are telling your brain, I'm not moving. Everything looks static and stationary in the cabin. But your vestibular system is saying, we're turning left. So when there's a mismatch of that information is when we can get that nauseous kind of like feeling. This also happens on a cruise ship. If you are feeling the waves move, but you're inside your cabin that doesn't have windows and everything looks stationary. Same thing with driving. Some people can't read in the car while they drive, especially if you're like driving through a mountainous, a little mountain town, and try reading. That can make you really queasy because this information is mismatching. So all of this is what makes up your balance. So the good news is there's interventions for just about all of them. And increased falls are not a typical part of aging. The majority of falls and injuries from falls can be prevented if we get to the root of the problem and treat the root of the problem. Virtually everybody can improve their strength and balance at any age. That includes you. Yes, you. And the sooner you take action, the better. So that wraps up our definitions and kind of introduction to this whole course with what is a fall? What is balance? What does a fall prevention plan entail? So I know I said I had to get going. Well, I'll stay a couple more minutes to see if you guys have any more questions on anything that we've talked about in module 1. Any questions? All right.
Since I had your assessment at the house and you gave me the results, I feel pretty good about that part of it, you know.
Cool.
I do have some problems with that standing on one leg thing though.
Yeah, that's a tough one. And I mean, I think it's good to work on and get better at it because it will definitely strengthen your legs. And if at this point, oops, that was my alarm. Sorry about that. If at this point it's kind of just going to be like a party trick, like, oh, I can stand on my leg for 10 seconds. Cool. If you're never going to be put in a position to stand on one leg, do you really have to train standing on one leg? I think it all helps. This is kind of like the argument between, should I do static standing balance training where I'm just standing in one place? Or should I do dynamic training where I'm doing balance exercises in movement? Like for you, I know that you have caught your foot on a step going up. So you were not standing still. So we would want to train you in movement. But all that being said, there is going to be some carryover from training standing still as well. So you can do the static exercises. You can do the balancing on one foot. I think it's a good skill to have. It's going to strengthen up your ankle and your foot muscles a lot. It's going to strengthen your hip muscle. So it will carry over to walking as well. So a good time to do that is like if you're microwaving something, or, if you are watching a TV commercial, just find little quick moments where 30 seconds, 60 seconds, just stand at the counter and do what we did earlier, where you're just standing on your one leg for 60 seconds and letting go as much as possible. So you're not going to be able to hold it for 60 seconds without hand support, but just play around with letting go as much as you can, and that's going to build strength.
It's very important because when you get like to go on a step stool or up a step, you're on one leg at a time.
Yeah.
And that's why I can't do that sort of thing.
You made such a good point. And yes, thank you for saying that, because even walking, one step, you're on your right leg, and then you're on your left leg, and then you're on your right leg, and then you're on your left leg. So even walking is a series of standing on one leg. So you're absolutely right. All right, ladies, for homework, go ahead and finish the questionnaires on page 23 and 24, and then you can finish any other things in the workbook that we touched on today. So if you need to finish filling out the October tracker, you can finish that. If you need to finish thinking about your fall prevention team, anything kind of from page 8 to 17. If you want to go ahead and fill out your fall log and kind of process some of that.
Just hang on a second, please.
Okay.
(23) and 24.
Yep.
And what else?
And then the October calendar. And then pages 8 to 17.
Okay.
And then the last one you could look at, I guess I should say page 22 to 24. So 22 is that page that if something jumps out and you already know you have a problem with it, go ahead and put a check mark under problems found. And then if nothing jumps out, but as we go through the course, problems jump out, then you could go back to page 22. And I can send out an email too, just with the quote unquote homework. I don't want to feel too much like we're in school, but it's kind of like that classic thing of you'll get out of it what you put into it. So I'll try to give you guys as much time during our sessions to go ahead and do the written exercises. That was why it was important for us to at least get started with a lot of that. But then if you want to go ahead and between now and next week, go ahead and ponder that stuff a bit more, then that could be helpful for you. Sound good?
Yeah,
All right. Thank you, ladies, for coming. I'll see you Thursday. And you know how to reach me if you need anything before then.
thank you.
You're welcome.
This is wonderful, Amber.
Oh, good. I'm glad you think so.
Really is.
Awesome.
You know, I've had physical therapy ad nauseum. Nobody's ever, ever, ever mentioned any of these things.
Really? Yeah, I'm learning that's interesting. I'm learning it is kind of a niche. It's kind of I don't want to say a specialty, but it's moving towards, people, if you can find a physical therapist that has a special interest in fall prevention, having put this class together, I treat my patients much differently now than I used to treat, just because it really is, there's a whole world of information to learn about fall prevention. So, cool. Well, I'm glad you're finding it helpful. So,
Yeah.
all right. Have a good rest of your day, guys.
Okay, see you Thursday.
All right. Adios.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.